story.
You don't know
The things.
You don't know the things that I've.
Yes. Welcome to the third episode of
Iron Sharpens Iron. Yes. We missed you guys. It's been a while since
It has been a while.
A lot has transpired.
A whole lot.
But we're back. Today is a special day. It is Tuesday,
It is Tuesday.
June the 3rd?
4th.
It
June
is
4th.
June 4th, 2019.
Yes.
And today is Testimony Tuesday. And my sister has an amazing testimony to share with you all. When she first told me about this testimony, what was it, last week?
Yes.
Let me tell you. When I tell you this testimony, it is amazing. The Bible does not lie when it says we are overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the words of our testimonies. This testimony is not only going to help her, it helped me, and I know it's going to help somebody else out there. So just listen. I hope you all are blessed by it. As always, you know, if you guys have questions, you know how to get in contact with us.
Yes.
Be blessed. Here we go.
Here we go.
So, sister,
sister.
how's it going?
It's going.
It's going.
Yes. So I just came off of a 21-day fast.
How was that?
Okay, so at first, it was like, oh boy.
That's a long time, 21 days.
21
3 weeks.
days, 21 days, and it was intense. So it was a Daniel fast, and you know the Daniel fast is super intense.
Yes.
No meat, no dairy, no grain, no processed anything.
No, nothing.
Nothing. Water, fruits, and vegetables.
That's it.
That is it.
Wow.
Nothing else. And it's a sacrifice, but it was so worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah. What did you get out of it? Like, what was the best part of the fast?
The best part of the fast was connecting with God. The best part of the fast was hearing his voice.
Yeah.
And communing with him. And I like to refer to it as tuning the frequency.
I like that.
Yes.
Yes.
So you know how you listen to the radio and it's a little bit staticky, but when you tune the frequency, you hear
to that right part.
Yes. It's so clear.
Yeah.
And it was that kind of experience.
Yeah.
So much revelation, so much understanding, knowledge, wisdom.
Yeah.
And then of course this testimony that I'm going to share with the world came from my time with God.
Wow.
I know.
That's good though. Most people, they don't fast. They usually fast like what is it, around Easter time? People do, they do the regular fast for Lent, the 40 days, and then that's it. But intermittent fasting is so important. Not just for like weight loss, but like the clarity that you get from God, that oneness with him. It's unmatched.
It is.
It's unmatched.
It is.
So I'm happy for you. That's good.
You.
Good job.
Thank you. So one thing in particular that I got from the fast was deeper revelation and understanding about the course of my life over the last 10 years.
Really?
And when I say that, a lot of people may know that I was married.
Okay. How long were you married?
I was married in 2008, and then my ex-husband and I were divorced in 2015.
Okay.
And there was so much that transpired in the marriage. Just to kind of give you a little bit of background, we met when I was about 18 years old.
Okay.
And fresh out of high school, still very young, still very naive, still needing much guidance, but didn't have much at the time.
Right.
And we were like childhood sweethearts. Like we kind of grew together. We used to be inseparable. And then at one point, he went his way and moved, and I went my way and moved. And then we ended up coming back together. In the midst of us coming back together, we had a child. Okay. We had a son. And then the relationship kind of took its toll. It just didn't really work.
Yeah.
And so I had made a decision that I was going to leave New York, where we're originally from, and I was going to move to the South. So I bought a house in North Carolina. Things were like really, really good for me as far as financially. I had the 3 children at the time because I had my 2 children from a previous relationship. And now I have my youngest son, which was by my ex-husband.
Okay.
And I took the 3 kids and I decided that we were going to move to North Carolina. So I purchased a home in North Carolina, packed up my stuff and my children's stuff, and we moved down south from New York. And after that, my ex-husband had come down to North Carolina to visit for like a weekend. He fell in love with it, decided that I don't want to live without you and I want to marry you and whatever, a little fairy tale.
Right.
And so after he had decided that, he flew back to New York and he flew back down to North Carolina. I had no idea he was coming. And he showed up on my job and he proposed.
At work?
At work.
In front of everybody?
In front of everybody.
Oh, that's so cute. That's like in the movies.
Yeah, it was a little movie. So he proposed to me at my job. Of course, I said yes. And then after that, like our lives just transitioned.
Yeah.
We had never lived together before. So this was our first time ever cohabitating. You learn a lot about a person when you live with them. And while we were living together, we had our problems, quite a few. There was a lot of infidelity in our relationship. A lot of infidelity.
How long after you guys got married did that start?
It started before we got married.
Oh.
While we were just
Dating.
While we were cohabitating and we were engaged. Because I did not grow up in a setting where people were married.
Yeah.
I had never seen marriage growing up. So we were just kind of winging it.
Yeah.
Him neither. Never really experienced marriage.
Yeah.
So we both were kind of winging it. We thought that marriage was about being in love. And then when you are in love, that is the next step.
Right.
You get married. But there was just so much in our relationship that wasn't right. So about a year later, or almost a year later, after we moved to North Carolina, we said I do.
Did you consult God before you married him?
Yes.
And what did he tell you?
I fasted for about 30 days.
Okay.
And when I say that was my only prayer, I think that was the only thing I was praying for.
Wow. Was to get the okay to marry him?
Yes, to get the okay to marry him. I fasted about it, but he didn't answer me.
He never answered you.
Never answered me.
Interesting.
And so I just assumed
That a no answer was
that
a yes.
no answer was a yes.
Them good old assumptions get you every time.
Right.
Every
right.
time.
I just assumed that it was a yes.
Uh-huh.
But truthfully, there was infidelity on his part before we got married. And I, like many other women out there, we assume that a marriage or a baby or something of that nature will change the nature of the man.
Yep.
And I am here to tell you, God is my witness. It does not change their character. It does not change who they are.
Nope.
The only thing and the only one that can change who a man is in terms of his character is God.
That's it.
That is it.
That's it.
And I made that mistake in thinking that I can be his savior.
Yeah.
I can come in and I can be a good woman to him and show him my value and show him what I'm worth.
Right.
And it will stop him from wanting or desiring other women. And it didn't work.
Never does.
It did not work. So here we are, we're in this marriage, we're living together. It was just so challenging. There were good times. It wasn't all bad. We had good times. My husband and I he has an incredible sense of humor. And so together with our sense of humor, it's just like nonstop laughs.
Yeah.
Like we always laughing and joking and can have a great time together. But when I think the issue was the infidelity.
Yeah.
That was the biggest issue.
That's a big issue too.
It is.
It takes a toll.
It does.
Yeah.
It took a toll on me as a woman. It made me feel less than who I was.
Yeah.
It made me feel undervalued. I didn't like myself. I used to question why was I not good enough?
Yeah.
Why was I not enough?
Then you try to see what you can change about yourself
Yeah.
to match what he's looking for.
Yeah.
And it's not you.
Right.
Yeah.
And it like destroyed my self-esteem, my
Yeah.
self-confidence. But fast forward, because that's not what this testimony is about. It's not to assassinate his character. One day I had made a decision, and my decision was revenge. So there was an opportunity with a friend of mine. He was my homeboy, and I was feeling really, really low. And he had invited me over, and I went to his house. One thing led to another, and we slept together. And when you are married, sleeping with someone else is not just cheating, it's adultery. And adultery comes with a lot of consequences. So at the time, I felt vindicated.
Yeah.
I felt like I got him back.
Yeah.
And I was not remorseful. I was content with my decision. I made a decision based on emotions, negative emotions, and I was content with the choice that I made. So when it was time for me to confess, I had no problem doing it. No
You was
problem.
proud about it.
I was proud about it
Wow.
because I felt vindicated.
Yeah.
Let's see how you feel,
How you feel? Yeah.
when you are on the other side. And so I told him. He got upset. I remember the night that I told him, he came upstairs to the bedroom. I had went upstairs and went to sleep after I told him, you know. And so he came upstairs to the bedroom and he was like, I'm leaving. I don't want to be with you no more. And I said, well, ain't this about a blitz?
Oh, you want to leave now?
You want to leave now?
After one time.
Right. And see, the thing about men is they could dish it.
Y'all cannot
but
take
they
nothing.
cannot take it.
Cannot.
They can't take it.
Cannot.
They cannot just the idea of someone else with what they feel belongs to them.
Yeah.
They can't take it.
Oh.
And then eventually it crumbled.
Yeah.
After he left, a few months later, I had a dream. And so I'm going to read a little bit of the dream because when I had the dream, it was so unique and different that I wrote it down.
Okay.
And it was a time when I didn't understand that God communicates with us through dreams.
Right.
I want to rewind for a second because I think it's important that I mention this. When I cheated, when I committed adultery, I had already accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior.
So you knew better.
I knew better.
On a deeper level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had already accepted Christ. And there are a lot of us as Christians who are out there living this facade where we want others to believe that we are blameless, that we are guiltless, that we are without sin. But we are just as human as anyone else.
Yes.
And we make decisions based on emotions sometimes, like everyone else.
Yes.
And what we have to learn as believers and as people of God is, number one, the world is watching us
24/7
to see what our response, what the
Yeah.
Christian response is going to
Yes.
be. Well, you're Christian, so therefore you should be perfect because your Savior was perfect.
Yes.
So they expect perfection out of us, and the world watches us.
Yes.
But not only does the world watch us, we should be accountable
Yeah.
for what it is that we do.
Definitely.
So that's the reason that I sit here today and I provide and I give this testimony, is because I'm accountable for my actions.
Yeah.
And they don't just get swept under the rug. And being a Christian and knowing right from wrong, and then making a decision to sin intentionally.
Yeah.
There's
a consequence behind that.
There comes consequences.
Yeah.
There comes severe
Serious.
consequences.
Yes.
Exactly.